Okay, Reverend Crystal Cox here. bbgoddesschurch@gmail.com to donate to our church. Page 74 of the Awakener. Your acceptance and responsibility of the creation of everything in your life takes you into the divine universal flow of complete happiness, abundance, joy, and unconditional love for all life. It will take you to a place of peace and contentment deep within. It takes you home. And that is, where we were before about creating your own reality. I created it. Paying attention to every thought, knowing every belief system, and whether you still believe it or not. Now, as Earth proceeds into her new millennium of peace and harmony, it is time for everyone to begin to accept themselves as children of God, of Goddess, and creators of reality, in order to co-create a world of love. Many legions of incarnate and discarnate light beings serve this universe. Although in truth there is no real location for spirit, the term is used to assist in bringing understanding. These beings who work in service to the light are located in all dimensions, assisting projects throughout the universe. The Great White Brotherhood consists of beings from various higher realms. Many of these beings, as well as other groups such as the Galactic Confederation, Space Brotherhood, and other interplanetary missionaries and groups, assist the plan on Earth. Many of the incarnated light force have begun to feel and remember the connection and agreements that have been made between the incarnate mission team and beings called Ascended Masters, cosmic beings, archangels, lords, and the Elohim. We have adopted the term hierarchy to signify these beings, whom we find located from the 7th to the 12th dimensions. Those we call the Ascended Masters are in the higher band of the 7th dimension. They are considerable in number, but some have channeled a great deal of information since the 1930s and are therefore more familiar, such as Saint Germain. And then in parentheses that says for Saint Germain, Chohan of the 7th ray, the violet ray of freedom. And Chohan is spelled Chohan. Chohan of the 7th ray, the violet ray of freedom. It's for Saint Germain. And Kuthumi, Kuthumi, a name from the incarnation as a Dutchman named as Kuthumi. Kuthumi was also Saint Francis of Assisi, and Pythagoras. He is the previous guardian of the yellow third ray of wisdom and currently co-shares the role of world teacher with Jesus until the new millennium. So, that's kind of interesting. So, we said this was written in 97, right? I just want to affirm that. Okay, so it was first written in 1997. So, the new millennium, and then, okay, so that's very interesting. So, he is the previous guardian of the yellow third ray of wisdom and currently co-shares the world teacher with Jesus. So that's Saint Francis until the new millennium. We're now in the new millennium, and it's Saint Germain who will oversee the next 2,000 years, the Aquarian on Earth. That is fascinating. If you haven't seen all of the information on Nisara, Jasara, and Saint Germain, and I've studied Saint Germain on and off for my whole life, but recently more about Saint Germain's incarnations and the whole relieving of the debt and liberating humanity and everything now is about Saint Germain. So it's like Jesus' time ruling that was done, and then Saint Germain is now doing it. Yeah, that's fascinating. I don't remember reading that part. Okay, so it is Saint Germain who will oversee the next 2,000-year Aquarian age on Earth. He assumes this responsibility fully at the end of the century, taking over this role from the being we know as Jesus Christ, his most famous incarnation, who has held this for 2,000 years in the Piscean age. Other better-known ascended masters include El Morey, Hilarion. So Hilarion's Hilarion, and El Moryan is El, and then Morya. So includes El Mora, Hilarion, Jesus, and his twin flame, Lady Nada. She has not been incarnated here. Okay, also says Serapis Bey, Dwal Kuhl, which is spelled Dwalkuhl, Lady Portia, the twin flame of Saint Germain, Paul the Venetian, and Mother Mary. Although naturally operating as androgynous energies, they communicate to us often as male and female identities to assist reality on the lower levels. Cosmic beings from the 8th, 9th, and higher dimensions such as Buddha, Pallas Athena, spelled Pallas, Athena, Lord Maitreya, Maha Chohan, he is also known as the Lord of Civilization, Kuan Yin and Lei Tsao, Helios and Vesta, it says the sun in parentheses for Vesta, Melchizedek, Metatron, and Sanat, and Venus, Kumara, are part of the thousands assisting Earth at this time. One's own vibration rate determines the dimension one can reach. A group called the Elohim are from very high levels and rarely communicate directly to Earth. Their guidance is passed down through various cosmic beings. It is important to understand that lower dimensional beings can claim to be any of these masters. Procedures for ascertaining correct identities are given in Chapter 10. Many archangels are also involved, perhaps the more well-known of these being Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, and the Lord Michael, who represents the divine will of God, holding the sword of peace, protection, and justice for earth. The angelic order begins with the seraphim, Seraphim, angels from the very highest dimension who surround the throne of God. The cherubim are the guardians and senders of divine light from heaven and the keepers of the celestial records. Thrones are the companion angel of the planets. Dominions serve to integrate the spiritual and material worlds and are the regulators of angelic duties. Virtues are the next angelic realm and are responsible for sending great amounts of divine energy where it is needed. Powers are the bearers of the conscience of humanity. These are the angels that assist birth and death. Principals are the guardian angels of large groups. They are integrators of a unified global order. Archangels are responsible for the overall pattern of human endeavor. Angels are the one that most humans associate with as they are more closely connected with human affairs. These are our healers, guardians, protectors, and friends, and each person on earth has at least one angel responsible and caring for them. Some light workers feel an affinity with specific realms or planets. The reason for this is that we all come from different areas and align with groups that are familiar to us. Some may find their interest focuses on the idea of ETs. You may feel very strange on Earth and have a definite feeling that you do not belong here. This can indicate that you have come more recently from another planet or civilization. Sometimes an unusual and unheard of one, or you could be an ET walk-in. This means a being who made an agreement prior to the incarnation, usually with a member of their own planet, that at a certain time they would walk in to an existing adult body. The original occupant would return home. Often the incoming being is more evolved, has been working elsewhere, and had no time or desire to proceed through the growth stages from babyhood. I understand that. In this way, they can comply with the non-intervention law that one must be an inhabitant of a planet to be able to help change its evolution. Even if you come in after we've done all the low vibration, boring stuff, right? Most are consciously aware they are a walk-in. and have fairly specific mission orders. Often they have an agreement to assist the awakening and cleansing of their own planetary extraterrestrial group, so that each of those can complete their own individual missions. These walk-ins are all over the world, and the majority are with the light. They are quite often distinguishable, as many of them do not conform with or have an understanding of Earth patterns, feel quite alone, and may behave in an outlandish way. Occasionally, light workers attend a workshop designed for ETs, which can prove to be uncomfortable for the light worker. As the ET reality, truth and manners sometimes conflict with accepted Earth patterns. They feel no obligation to conform to your fixed realities. Not all ETs are walk-ins, and not all walk-ins are ETs. Walk-ins have always been a part of third-dimensional existence. Under universal law, it has always been possible for someone who expresses a wish to leave, but does not wish to commit suicide, to be approached and asked if they truly desire this. Interesting. They are asked over a period of time more than once, and usually in the sleep state, which is the time of spiritual connection. Oh, so that's when they're asking us if we really want to leave or not. If it is certain that this is required, the exchange takes place under a very strict supervision of several guardians or custodians. What was a show on Netflix about? Maybe it's Travelers. How the moment the person's going to die, like they know they're going to die in a car accident, or it could be suicide, or it could be anything, and then instead of them dying, they take over their body right before it, and then they don't die. You get the point. But if I even finish the thought. If it is certain that this is required, the exchange takes place, under guardians or custodians. A contract is drawn up that always requires the incoming being to complete the agreements and any unfinished tasks of the outgoing person. This does not apply to ET walk-ins, as the agreements are prearranged and different. Under normal procedures, the person will choose to take up the existing identity without retaining a conscious memory of the transaction. The incoming person picks up some of the patterns of the vacating person, thereby enabling him or her to carry on without too many obvious differences being observed in the personality. This isn't usually noticed by anyone, although it actually happens quite a lot. It is often passed off with expressions like, "He hasn't been himself lately." If people don't expect these sort of things, they often do not see. Yeah, so there's been probably a lot of walk-ins, and the Mandela effect might be connected to some of that too. That's just very interesting. Some light workers feel a closeness to the space fleet that patrol and assist this galaxy. In this case, it may be that they were a crew member prior to incarnating here. These spaceships are part of the Galactic Confederation and are generally commanded by beings from the 5th and the 6th dimensions. They are not ascended masters. The better known of these are commanders Ashtar, Corton, Monka, Athena, and Merku. Athena. I thought I was talking to Goddess Athena, but I might be communicating with another Athena. Generally, these light ships are quite vast and different from the older style ships from smaller fleets, as normally depicted in our television shows. The mother ships are like small worlds. The large spaceship shown in the film Close Encounters of the Third Kind is closer to the true size. You may be from the angelic kingdom, although normally angels do not take human form. Many have incarnated for this special planetary occasion. Some feel close to the angelic realm, and the angels and others may feel closer to the ascended masters. Some people feel a special connection to a specific ascended master or archangel, or perhaps feel they are this master or their twin flame. The reason for this could be as follows. Because you are following an evolutionary path that comes under the guidance and training of that being. You may have incarnated using the specific energies of a particular ray for which that master is responsible. Number 3. This feeling of closeness could also be because you were incarnated during the same lifetime and worked together. Some of the masters spend many incarnations on this planet prior to their ascension. Number 4. You may have worked together before on other planetary missions. You may be a systems buster and have completed many planetary missions. Well, I'm a systems buster, so yeah. You may be an aspect of that master. Number 6. You may have a specific agreement with that being. Number 7. You're friends. Number 8. You feel a great love for this being. Well, it could be any of those then, right? Okay. So, we're going to stop there. Have a great day. Goddess bless you. Make sure you know your beliefs because you're creating reality right now. Whatever you think of me right now is creating a reality for you. I love you.